Hello Patriots, Crazy Out 99. Today we want to bring to you just a little comparison of the Magpul MBUS sights that are available, the MBUS 3s. Let me back up a little bit. MBUS stands for Magpul Backup Sights, for those that don't know. But I think MBUS is kind of taken off as a general name, kind of like Coke when you want a soda. But anyway, I digress. The MBUS 3s are their new release. They came out a little over a month ago, I think, but I just got a set in for a rifle that I am working on, and we're going to put those on that. I don't have any trigger time with them. I don't think that's material at this point because, frankly, they're going to function the same as the predecessors, the MBUS 2. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do a tabletop comparison of the MBUS 3s as compared to the MBUS 2. They don't call them MBUS 2, but that's what they are, the ones that were previously available, and the Magpul Pro. So right off the top, we'll go with the packaging. So the MBUS 3, the new MBUS 3s come out in packaging like this on a kind of a blister pack on a card type of thing, which frankly I don't like. The MBUS 2s come packaged like this with a plastic bag and cardboard, which is absolutely fine with me. Low cost, easy to open. I never enjoy opening these. I always think I'm gonna cut my hand off. And then the MBUS Pros are the fancier sights for those that like such things, and they're obviously packaged fancier as well. They come in a nice little box. As you probably all know, the MBUS 2 and 3, if you don't, you will in a second, are polymer, plastic to some, whereas the MBUS Pro are all metal construction. And that may be important to some people. It's not important to me. The MBUS 2s that I've put on many a gun, I'll go ahead and open one of these up here, pull this off. I've already previously opened them because I weighed them for comparison. I'll get into that in a little bit. But these rascals are plenty durable, these polymer sights that Magpul makes, and I've never had an issue. You can break anything, don't get me wrong, and I'm sure the metal ones are stronger than the polymer, but for the average user in the average situation, you're not going to have a problem with these polymer sights by Magpul. Now, some of the knockoffs, their plastic may be inferior or whatever, that's certainly possible. Some of the Chinese knockoffs, but the Magpul products, no issues with the polymer there. So go ahead and pull these out of the package. I will say this, the Magpul 2, well, we'll get into the details in a minute. The MBUS 2, I can't talk. Front sight does require a front sight tool to adjust. And it does come with, if you buy the MBUS 2, it does come with a front sight tool, a little keychain type of thing. Uses a 4-prong adjuster, standard adjustment type of system for a mil-spec front sight post. The MBUS 3, and I've already cut these open because like I said, I measured them, so they'll be easy to open up and take out. The MBUS 3 front sight does not require a sight tool because it's got a little knob on it, which is pretty slick. That's nice, you know. Is it a big deal? Nope. Not a big deal. I think everybody that fires an AR is used to needing to carry around a front sight post tool, and I think you'll not find yourself adjusting the sights very often anyway. You generally zero and go from there. But let's talk about comparison a little bit. I'm going to cut out of this after I go over some stuff, and we'll do a look down while I'm talking so you can kind of see how they size up. But I'll talk about cost right off the bat. The MBUS 2s. Brownell's price is $65, and I went to Magpul just to get an MSRP, but Magpul doesn't sell the set, so I had to add them together. So added up, if you buy them off of Magpul, so they're $98. MBUS 3s, Brownell's price $70, $100 for the set, and I'm sorry, $70 for the set on Brownell's, $100 on Magpul site for the set. And the Pros on Brownell's site for a set is $130, on Magpul site's $200. So the big obvious point there is right now, cost point wise between the 2 and the 3. I think that's the best comparison there. The Pros are almost, I'm just putting them in here for a reference, but they're almost their own thing. The 2s and 3s, the street price right now is $5 difference on the set from the 2s to the 3s. I don't see any reason to pick up the 2s at only a $5 savings if it were me. Now that said, I've purchased a set of Magpul sights before when they're on sale as low as about $50, and that is a bargain, frankly. So then if you could find them at that price, and I think you will start finding them pretty cheap coming up when retailers are trying to clear their shelves of those to make room for the 3s. I think you'll probably find the 2s coming down in price, and then you'll have to make that decision: is it worth 10 or 15 bucks to get the more to get the newer version, or save a few bucks and use the older version? That's an individual preference type of thing. But the Pros, again, they're significantly more expensive. They are a lot fancier, if I can use that term. I have had this set of Pros in my parts bin, unused, for several years. And just not put them on a rifle because I don't know how to explain it. I'm fine with the polymer sights. If somebody wanted me to put a set on their rifle, I would have no problem doing it. They're good sights. They're nice. They're compact. Obviously they weigh more because they're all metal, but that's to be expected. So we talked about price comparison. Weights is a big deal. So the big difference in the MBUS 2 and the 3, and again, I'm not going to talk a whole lot about the Pros. I'll give you the comparison, but we won't dally on it. Between the 2s and the 3s, the big difference, other than the front sight tool not being required for the front sight, is the 2s, or I should say the 3s, are a bit more compact, noticeably smaller. They're still not tiny, but they're noticeably smaller, which is kind of slick, and they are noticeably lighter. So the MBUS 2s, the predecessor, the ones that are still available but probably being phased out, these weigh as a set 70 grams or 2.5 ounces. So I'll talk both in grams and ounces for, well, heck, those that care about the metric system. So 70 grams, 2.5 ounces for the 2s, and for the 3s, you're looking at 54 grams and 1 7/8 ounces. So you're talking about 16 grams less. Let me just do a, yeah, well, let's be honest. It's not much difference, but there's a savings there, and there's a saying about ounces and pounds and all that stuff when it comes to carrying a load. But it may be important to some. I should also point out, and you'll see, maybe you can see it when we do a tabletop look down, and so you guys can see these. Maybe you'll see it, maybe you won't. The 3s that I bought are olive drab because they're going on an olive drab firearm, and the rest of them are all black. And we're talking about weights. The MBUS Pros, again, are 95 grams, and you can feel that difference in the weight, upwards of twice the weight of the lightest MBUS 3, and that's 3 3/8 ounces. And I just weighed these a little bit ago. I think the weights might be on Magpul's site. Magpul does talk about dimensions. I didn't measure dimensions here because it's really sometimes hard to tell which part to measure from to compare, but we'll see. We'll do a side-by-side here so you can see those when we do a look down here. What else? So we talked about weights, talked about price. The other thing, I'll try to point it out in the look down as well. I don't know if you'll notice it, but it looks like to me the front sight post on the 3s is significantly shorter than the 2s, and it looks like it might be a little narrower. Maybe it's just an optical illusion. I didn't bring my calipers out to measure that, and there's no mention of it in the, it looks like it might be a little finer, but again, that could be just an illusion. And if it is, it's not a lot, but it doesn't take much make a difference when it comes to the size of front sight posts. So that's I'm going to cut in here to the look down in a minute, and then we'll cut back out and wrap it up. Okay, this gives you an idea of what the sights look like compared one by the other. And as you can see, there's the 3s, 2s, and then the Pros. And what I'll do for you to get a good size comparison, there's the front sights together there. And we'll put the back sights here. Here's, of course, the sight tool for the front sight for the 2s. And we'll even put these down here. That's the Pro. And you'll see size-wise, you get a pretty good idea there. I will say this about the Pros: if you're looking for a smaller footprint, for the most part you're getting it definitely on the front sight. You can see it's a lot smaller. It does add some weight, though, noticeable more weight than the polymer sights. And then the rear sight, it's not quite as much of a size savings, but it still is smaller than the other two. So let's just pull those out of the picture now and focus on the size difference in the 2s and 3s, because I think that's the real comparison here. I think anybody interested in the Pros is not going to really be sold on the 3s. But I will say that they are nice. You can see that olive drab a little bit, can't you? It looks like a dull gray from at least the color I'm capturing on the camera. But olive drab is, doesn't really stand out until you compare it to a black. So size-wise, again, you're getting a size comparison here, but I don't know if it's coming across or not. There. And I don't know also if you can really tell, like I said, the front sight post on the 3s, which is here, does seem, clearly it's shorter, but overall height, I think they're going to be the same when they're raised. But that's one thing I don't know if you can mix the 2s and the 3s, like a 2 rear sight, 3 front sight, or vice versa. They operate pretty much the same. Well, they should. Oh, there's the button. That's the release. I guess I should have covered that. These have the 3s or the 2s have a paddle on the side, which is what I was used to, and ambidextrous either side. You push that down and it pops up. The 3s, it's just got a center button, and that's part of the size savings actually as well. And they're both pretty robust as far as the spring action goes. But I'm looking at, just trying to gather from where the rail would be. And I think the front sight is going to set higher on the 2s than the 3s. So if that were the case, I don't know that they would be compatible between the 2s and 3s. You'd be able to mix and match them. I'm not sure why you'd want to, but if the situation warranted it, you might want to. So the 3s are going to set lower than the 2s. And we'll try the rear sight as well. And I'm trying to match it up again to where the rail would be, where they'd be sitting on the rail right there. And you see even the aperture is noticeably lower. So you're not going to be mix and matching these sights. If you're using 3s, you're going to need a 3 front and 3 rear, and vice versa. I was playing with toys now. There we go. That's better. So hopefully that gives you some good idea of perspective-wise. Okay, so there you go. That gives you some idea of the comparison between the 2s and the 3s, and for the Pros, for what that's worth. It's really an individual preference on what you want. And the Pros, if you're that guy, that's fine. And you want nothing but the best. that's a whole other conversation, because there's other companies out there that are making a nice set of backup irons that are metal. I want to say Ultradyne's a pretty nice set, and some others out there as well. Troy Industries makes some good ones, but if you're into the polymer market and or you like Magpul products, now you kind of have some idea between the 2s and the 3s and what might be better for your intended purpose or your wallet, as it may be. But I hope you found this interesting. By all means, drop a comment or a question below, and I'll do my best to give you a good answer on it. Hope you all have a great day. Thanks for watching.